So, looks like everything is in order. So what's happening now is that if you've ever seen one of my previous vlogs, I've actually got it like a camera that's just right on me, but here now you can sort of like see my desk and my microphone as well. And what's happening is that my younger brother actually bought a well, it's a camera that looks and sort of acts like a DSLR but isn't a DSLR. I should really look up what the acronym means. And you can see the microphone I have right here. And the main reason is that well, this is my first time recording with this camera staring at me. So, and I'm just thinking like, well, before my brother heads off to Japan tonight, I thought, you know, just give the camera a bit of a go, see how good the video quality is, and if the audio is not good, then I'm already recording it separately, in which, you know, I'll probably just try and overlay it. But yeah, it's the syncing that I will have to worry about later, because right now I'm staring at a camera and I'm talking to it. And so I gotta admit, it's been quite a while, and what I planned to do before was like a regular vlog series during my thesis, or like in the final week leading up to my thesis, and I just wanted to talk about like just things related to research and that sort of thing. And then I just sort of lost interest. Not lost interest. It was more like after the second day, I was a bit well, how do I say it? It's sort of like still making the process of making these vlogs is still, to me, it feels very time consuming. It still feels very stressful, and it's not just putting the camera there or, you know, turning on the webcam and just recording things. It's more like it's the mental battle I have to deal with before I even actually start to do these things. And part of it is that part of it is that, you know, I'm quite a perfectionist at times, and when it comes to video, I've always like I've always wanted to record. I mean, ideally I would like to record stuff in high definition, or, you know, at least 720p. And at the moment it looks like my webcam is not of the greatest quality, really, and it's a bit frustrating. But I mean, the quality is not much of a deal where it's just, you know, it's like a small camera on a big screen. That's, you know, like when the streamers when they stream the video games and they have the webcam in the corner or something like that. And then but for me, of course, the webcam is going up to a big screen, and the webcam's resolution is like 1280 times 720. So it's like so it's like at most it could be 720p, but even then there's just and then it's just all kinds of, you know, just very neurotic, frustrating things. And I occasionally have to remind myself that you know, it's okay. Sometimes, you know, you just want to, when you record the vlogs, it's more because you just want to talk about stuff rather than, you know, actually trying to worry about the quality as well. Looks like actually, no, I will deal with this later. So at the moment is post-exams, pre-graduation, and I'm graduating next month, so maybe it's less than a month now. Oh, that reminds me, my birthday is in a month. What date is it now? Yeah, just over a month. And, you know, now the exams are over and I'm kind of on break, you know, I've been kind of doing a bunch of things, and I find that it's just like there's just so many things I want to do, and it's like making this vlog, getting through my backlog of games, embarrassingly enough, which is quite unfortunate at the moment, because I've gotten very addicted to I've gotten quite addicted to games which have had a lot of replayability, so to speak. And so I mean, one game in particular is the Binding of Isaac Rebirth, and then I've gotten really addicted to XCOM, which is a very tactical strategy game. It's it's turn based, and it's like you've got an army of human people, and then you're trying to fight against a bunch of aliens and that sort of thing. And it's, I really enjoy the tactical strategy. So it's like when I wake up a bit at 5 or 6 in the morning, the first thing I do is hop on the computer and I'll play a game like XCOM, just cause it gets the brain going, and just the fact that it gets me thinking is the part I really enjoy about it. Other things, job hunting, which is, I mean, most of you would know that job hunting isn't quite a fun thing to do at all, and it can't really be helped. But it just feels like, you know, after I've been, you know, I've spent the whole year doing it. Well, not a whole year, like collectively, but like I started job hunting at the start of this year because like most of the graduate applications, yeah, most of the graduate applications, at least for the bigger companies, you know, they open in February, and you know all the applications are due in April, which personally I think is really silly, but I guess it just spreads out the workload because, you know, maybe companies get really busy during Christmas or something, so they don't have time to process graduate applications, that sort of thing. So yeah, I've been job hunting, but with not much success, and one of the frustrating things is that one of the frustrating things is that you know, sometimes I'll shoot off an email, a resume, cover letter, you know, the whole package, and you know, I think I did pretty well, and then it's like when people don't reply, and I have to try not to take it personally because it's like well, let's just say the insecure voice in my head is just like saying, oh, they must not like me. And but it's like it's more like that. It's more like some people are just really flaky, or you know, they don't pay attention to the email, or they don't check the email as often as one would like. And yeah, I mean, I'm still haven't quite got over it yet. I mean, I eventually I'll get over it in time. But like one of the things I'm still figuring out at the moment is whether, like, if it feels like my initial email's got to ignore, when is it a good time to send a follow-up reminder email, and you know, just to poke them and say, hey, you know, can I get a bit of your attention, please? Yes, it's frustrating, and one of the funnier things is that as a result, I've been spending a lot more time on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is just like this. It still feels to me at this moment it's just like this place of complete pretentiousness, but I suppose it's a level of pretentiousness similar to sort of like when I was being a classical music snob, for example. It just feels like a completely different environment, completely different world where like for example, I mean, when you sign, I mean, I presume this is the case for most people with the LinkedIn account. So it's just like when they have the feed, or like, you know, like your Facebook news feed, a lot of the articles posted are kind of like very generic advice thing, and unfortunately they're starting to be a bit influenced by clickbait, you know, titles and articles, and then it's kind of a it's not all that great to look at, I'll be honest. I mean I do click on one every now and then that, you know, may be relevant to my interest, but it just feels like it just feels like people are just spraying each other with advice which is usually completely unnecessary. And while and I mean, while I'm all for people improving themselves, you know, working on self-awareness, that sort of thing, I think it just feels like everyone is trying too hard to be helpful to everyone else, and to like a whole variety of people, rather than trying to deal with one person at a time. Because I mean, ultimately, like one of the problems I see with these articles is that they tend to generalize like personality traits, or they try to use a single anecdote to tell everyone else you must do this thing as well. And the reality is that, you know, everyone's experience is fairly different. And um, and yeah, so so it's like for me, like look, I'll be guilty of starting to step a foot into this more pretentious, but I am actually gonna write, or I am actually in the middle of a draft of an article that talks about my hearing impairment and how I face some of the difficulties I faced in the whole job hunting process. And I mean, for me, I just feel like my situation is unique enough because but then, you know, I'm really not at liberty to say, because like, for one, I only know like a handful of other hard of hearing people because I've always hung out with, well, normal people, so to speak, for most of my life. And the other thing is that like people who are already up there and who are hard of hearing may not, you know, particularly talk about it because it's really not that much of a big deal in their lives anymore, or, you know, they're very established such that, or they're in a position where the hearing impairment isn't much of an issue. Nevertheless, one thing I have been told by a mentor is that generally in the workplace people tend to be very accommodating, and because it's more like they value your skills, so how much you give the company has more value than the resources that they can support you with in order to do your job, for example. There's probably a better way to word that, but you kind of get the idea. So it's like saying, well, you know, I mean, like say for example, for me as a mathematician or an analyst or whatever I get employed into doing, it's like saying, well, does my hearing impairment actually really affect my ability to do the job? I mean, and for some, I mean, I guess most people's answers would be no, because like still I'm technically capable of sitting behind the desk and, you know, just doing analytical mathematical stuff and thinking about things. And like say, I mean, like the obvious thing with my hearing impairment is that like, you know, I may have a bit of trouble communicating with people, and that's pretty much about it. I mean, it's just people with accents. That's accents. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the only thing I can really think of that would be a major problem. And even then, like, I find that some of the difficulties I have, like, let's go back to the accent example. It's like when people have really big accents, it's really hard to understand them. And like for me, for a long time, I thought, you know, that was just a lot more unique to me, and that normal people are much better at discerning what people with heavy accents are saying. But I think one of the things I found from just, you know, speaking to people out and about is that that it's kind of universal, and that, you know, I'm not completely alone in some of my difficulties. So so I mean, on one hand it's a relief, but on the other hand it can be a bit difficult to discern how much of a problem I have compared to other people in trying to discern something like accents. So, and then, and I guess, yeah, I mean, there's like a couple of companies like ANZ and IBM who have been, you know, sort of like actively paying attention to, or they, you know, they're actively campaigning, or they're actually doing stuff for people with disabilities. And I think it's a great thing, because it's sort of like the whole part of an organization's social responsibility. And you know, maybe I'm giving them too much, but it's more that I'm thinking. It's more that I'm thinking that it's like you should employ me for my skills and not just me about my disability. And then, but what it's like I think part of what happened is that no, finally I got the thoughts in order. What it is that some people's disabilities contribute to, say, maybe a lack of confidence, that maybe it would not enable them to be able to sort of just pass like the other facades of a job application. So it's like for me, you know, I could be very competent in like doing analytics or, you know, doing mathematical stuff, but like, for example, I may get stopped at the job interview or maybe a phone interview. I could have a phone interview and it would stop there because I was not able to express myself properly because of anxiety as a result of my hearing impairment. And that is actually somewhat true, because like I have a bit of anxiety when it comes to making phone calls, and because it's like well, with phone calls you can't well, with phone calls, of course, the only way I'm communicating to the other person is with voice, and of course I have to worry about being able to hear the person properly and be able to understand what they're saying. But the other important thing, which is that when it comes to face-to-face communication, there's a lot of contextual clues in that, you know, I'm looking at a person's lips, not actively lip reading, but it's more like sometimes I see the shape of the lips and it fills in the blanks when it comes to like certain words being said. And there's another thing, it's like with body language as well, and so I mean, or even gestures. You can see I'm just using my hands like this because for me it's like I like using gestures and pictures and actions to sort of try and illustrate what I'm saying, and all of that gets lost in conversation over the phone. And while for the most part I haven't really had much trouble with phone calls in general, I still feel a bit of anxiety every now and then, because I suppose it's due to one too many bad experiences of you know, picking up the phone only to hear a telemarketer with a very strong Indian accent, and and it's just like, and you know, the reading of a script, and I'm just going, I'm sorry, I don't understand you at all, and so yeah, things like that. Anyway, so according to Audacity, I've been talking for just under 18 minutes. I think it's probably a good time to shut this off now, and it will be interesting for me to actually see the quality and whether this video recording will come out in HD or not, because from the specs I looked up, I couldn't tell. I have no idea. And nevertheless, and interesting enough, thank you for watching, and I don't know when I'll put out another vlog, but it depends on what I do. Sometimes I get bored, sometimes I just need to do different things, but this morning I wanted to record this, and so if you're watching this up to here, thank you for watching, and whenever the next vlog will be.